Rest in peace, Jack. Yo, what up, man? So last night I seen Dirtbag posted that we lost Jack, one of the greatest to ever do it, Bay Area legend, hands down. One of the coolest people I've ever met, just in terms of being as well known as he was, and how he treated the people around him. I really think that's a testament of any human being, is how they treat people from all sorts of walks of life. And he definitely he was one of the realest, bro. He was one of the realest. My thoughts and prayers go out to his family first off, and his close friends and artists that he worked with on a more regular basis. The homie Pass had posted a story, and I see a lot of people have been posting stories about their experience with Jack, and I just wanted to kind of share my experience. I was introduced to his music back in maybe, I don't even know, early 2000s, I guess. And the two albums that I had on regular rotation were the Jack Artist and the Jack of All Trades. I played those front to back, simultaneously, sometimes every day. And it was a time in my life where I was going through a real rough patch with my mom, and I was like, kind of, I didn't have a place to stay, and I was couch surfing when I could. And so I don't know why, but my mom and I were butting heads constantly, and I always regret that time in my life, because my mom passed away in 2008, and I really never got the time that I wanted, or I feel like I needed with her, to mend that period. And during that time, my mom, loving me as much as she did, she didn't want me to be homeless, and she didn't want me to be off in these pretty much drug infested apartments and stuff where I was getting into some wrong shit. And anyway, so my mom, she didn't want me in the house, because this is really hard to say, but I feel like she was scared of me, because I was drinking and doing drugs and just kind of wilding out a little bit. Anyways, she let me live in the garage, and it wasn't and not a lot of people know this, but it wasn't a garage with a bedroom in it. It was just a garage full of a lot of shit. It was packed. There was a tiny little corridor walkway area where the laundry machines were, and I had a camping pad and I think a sleeping bag or a blanket. And I had this album playing right now, the Jack Artist, on this little stereo that I think my stepmom Vicky had bought for me. and I had at my dad's house, but I had that plugged in the garage where I was staying, and I had these albums playing front to back all the time, man. Anyway, so they really kind of help keep my head above water in terms of sanity-wise. I just listened to Jack all the time, and just walking down the street, you know, I didn't have a car or whatever, so if I would, you know, walk down the street and I had my, you know, my CD player and shit, I don't even think, I mean, there might have been MP3 players, but it was like some Nomad brand, and anyway, so I had a CD player and shit still. Like, I bought these CDs and I was listening to them on my CD player with like the wraparound ear pieces or whatever. Anyways, so when I did the MOB battle in Oakland back in 2009, 2010, early 2010, somewhere around there. It was a lot of people there. There was Yuckmouth was there, all Gucci'd out. I think Fab was there, and the Jacka was there. Jack was there. And this was a time when I had quit smoking weed because a number of traumatic events had led me to no longer enjoy the effects of marijuana. Anyone who knows me knows that I don't smoke. I have a few times since I officially quit or whatever, and I regretted it every time. Like, I don't like it. But this was kind of early on in that stage, and I ended up in a circle of people, you know, mostly rappers and stuff, and Jack was out there with all of us, and I was like, you know, I just told him, like, man, I want to thank you for all the music that you've made. Like, you're one of my favorites, bro. And he's like, oh, I really appreciate that, man. He was so cool. He was so nice to people that really didn't have anything to offer him, and that's rare. I mean, the Bay Area is like its own island in the music industry. I wouldn't really connect the two, but in terms of music industry cats, that's extremely rare. And you hardly ever see it. And Jack was one of those dudes, man, and he showed love to everybody. And, you know, I told him I was there for the producer battle, and, it's the classic right here. And, you know, I told him I was there for the producer battle. He's like, oh, man, that's what's up. Blah, blah, blah. And, he told me he had a studio session that night at 17 Hertz. And that I should roll out. It was going to be him and, like, some other the homies from the mob and shit. And I was like, all right, bet. I didn't end up making it because of some transportation issues or whatever. But it was dope, man. Hold on, I got the breathalyzer real quick. I'm just finna park and just finish this story real quick. So that was, so Jack was out in the circle with all of us, and you know, I had already like passed up a couple blunts. It wasn't like a big deal to me, like the not smoking thing. Like, not drinking is like a brick wall. Like, I do not drink at all, no matter what. But smoking is like, I just choose not to. There's no real meaning behind it. I just don't like it. But Jack had just rolled up a fatty, and he had just rolled a blunt, and he lit it, and I was like standing right next to him or whatever, and he like passed it to me, and I actually thought about passing it up at first, but I was like, nah, man, this is the Jack. And it wasn't even like a pressure thing. Like, I could have said no, but I guess at the time I wanted to be able to say that I smoked with Jack, which I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. But so I smoked with Jack, And just, we talked for like at least 5 minutes, you know, and it wasn't about a lot of stuff, but, you know, someone like him, he could have kept it moving around the crowd and gone and linked up with Yuck or Fab and like made sure that people knew that he was like above them or whatever. But nah, he like really dipped down to the level of like the everyday dude, and he was like, he's all about the fans. And to to go through the time that I did with his music as the soundtrack the whole time, and then later on, after my mom passed away, to meet him, he was just one of the realest ever. To meet him and for him to be that cool was like, he was one of my favorites of all time. Anyways, I wanted to share my story because I feel like that's the only thing I can do for him. That's all I can do for him. After I get done with this video, I'm about to roll my windows down, turn the box up, and slam the fuck out of this Jacka artist album all around Mesa. I'm gonna ride into Phoenix. I'm gonna do the same thing, and then I'm gonna go pick my daughter up for her dance class from my dad's house, and I'm gonna give her a hug, and I'm gonna tell her I love her.